I'm gonna go ahead and start recording because Troopy said she can't make it tonight. So, how is everybody?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I've been designing all day long, so I'm like got computer screen funk. You know how you get in that daze. It's like I feel like I'm half asleep, but I've just been deep
Yeah,
diving in all day.
have to touch some grass or something.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I get into this thing where it's like it's weird. It's like you get in this zone of design, and I've literally been here for like 8 hours, and it's just
Yeah,
that I don't know what it is. It's like that
you
2000
just get in the
stare or
zone.
whatever. Yeah.
I sort of
Um,
get it, but not to that degree.
well, you get on a roll and you get into things, and it's like, oh, can't stop now.
Yeah,
You know, I'm in the groove.
yeah, when you are in the zone, you can't
Um,
stop it.
so I'm gonna share. Let's see, share my screen. I just basically literally created a. Let's see here. Created an agenda for us. You guys seeing that?
There we go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, and because I didn't really have anything, Becca, um, Trupti had texted that you and Dennis McClin might have something to talk about for the
Yeah,
opening.
we can punt that actually probably to next because Troop
Okay,
won't be here and Dennis also won't be here. So probably
okay,
best to just yeah.
perfect. That's fine. I'll leave it on here and I'll copy this over to next month's agenda just so we had a mention of it that we talked about it. And
Well,
well, welcome to October 1st and October's Land Use Committee hearing. We don't, or meeting, we don't really have any agenda items. I would love to get an update from Melissa. And then there's a few updates. Maybe we can talk to Matthew. He's here on here today about any of the Safe Street stuff that we've been working on. And Joey, if you have anything too that you want to talk about or chat about, let me know. Um, so. Does anybody have any short public comments they'd like to bring up first? That's usually our first section. Is there anything? Seeing none, I think Melissa, you're up to bat already.
Could you let me share, please?
Yeah. Stop sharing and allow.
Perfect. All right. We have a somewhat limited number of slides here. It's this month with the budget going on. Most exciting, we have tomorrow night the Central Street Promenade. So the improvements that were done along Central Street to add a dog run right against I-25 there at 17th and Central. That will open. We're really excited. This has been a long time coming. This was funded through the Elevate Denver bond back in 2017. So this is finally coming to fruition and opening tomorrow. If you can join us, that'll be at 5:30 p.m., 17th and Central at that dog run area for a ribbon cutting. I've got the Sloan's Lake Boathouse. They're doing another survey. So this is survey number 2. They heard some feedback from people that they really want to see a community use of the space. They really want to see some kind of retail, whether that's sandwiches, coffees, or even rentals like paddle boards or the like for Sloan's Lake, for those that are brave. And so that will close October 6th. So there's a link to this. Rod, I just did these today. I'll send them to you after I'm done here, so you
That's
can
fine.
get
Yeah, no
this up.
worries. Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much.
So we have the Resilient Landscape Project. So they are also doing a survey. So this is, again, their second survey. They're going to be asking questions from people on landscaping and irrigation design. Do you think, things on trees? Do you think that there should be a requirement to preserve trees in new development? Or should they have to replace trees that they may remove? So there's questions regarding that. What would happen if a new development has no room to add trees? Should they add shrubs? Like, what do you want to see in new development? So as a reminder, this is not for existing homes, existing properties that aren't being redeveloped. This is only for new development. So I encourage you
but
to
that
take that.
conversation did come up last while ago when we were talking about those streets, like who's supposed to take care of those trees once they're planted? You know, because we
That is yours.
yeah, well, I mean, like, but a lot of times these developments don't, you know, put anything for down the road, and then people stop taking care of them and they just die, and it seems kind of sad.
So that's one of the conversations we're having
Yeah,
is it's fine to have upfront requirements, but who's maintaining that in the long term, right? Who's
right,
ensuring that this landscape is maintained? And if something dies, like a tree or a shrub or something like that, that it's replaced, that there is, dare I say, incentive for ongoing maintenance. If we're going to make you replace it, you're more likely to try and maintenance it in the long term.
right.
You know, we used to do that a lot with old PUDs. I'm sure you're aware, Rod. There was a lot of requirement for landscaping. We'd go down to the exact type of shrub or
Oh
tree, how
yeah,
many and where, right?
yeah,
So, you know, we don't do that anymore, but we're looking at like, what's some balance? What can we do in this, you know, to update our codes regarding landscaping? So I encourage everyone to take that survey, and that closes on the 7th. The Sheridan Corridor Study, they are moving along. They just are sharing some recommendations, same as last month. You can view their corridor-wide recommendations, their priority intersection recommendations, and some ongoing projects on the corridor. Unlocking housing choices, which Rod is on.
yeah. But there's no updates. That like they canceled this month's stuff because of all of the budgetary stuff, and they're reshuffling and rethinking.
The
Yeah,
CPD has taken quite a hit as
yeah.
far as their planning capacity. I will tell you that. That was actually one of their most significant hits, was in planning. So this will be meeting toward the end of the month. I want to say like the 28th. Does that sound right, Rod?
Yeah, yeah, they canceled last month's, and then they still got the other one. They pushed that third meeting to the end of this month. So
Yeah.
on next month's agenda, I'll have an update. Hopefully, they won't cancel it between now and then. We'll see.
Hopefully they keep it, but I suspect it's going to be, you know, some pared down conversations, or at least maybe discussions on what to do in the longer term with lack of staff.
Yeah, my guess is the way this is working is, you know, they go off and they do all their stuff, and you know, we're not really doing any work. We're just there to give feedback and everything as the committee, as the advisory committee for it. But my guess is they just don't have time to work on it really full time because they're being distracted and pulled away to all this other stuff because of budgetary cuts. So,
Yeah, they were real clear in the budget hearings. They're even paring down their planning, so neighborhood planning initiative. They were doing 3 a year, and they're going to be doing 2 a year, hopefully. So
wow.
it's their planning staff really did take a hit. If you are interested in this, I do encourage you to join Rod and me at the end of the month to hear, you know, what their plans for this are going forward.
Yep, and I can post that because I think they are publicly. There's a Zoom call. Like I've been going in person, but then they do link in Zoom. I will drop that link for anybody that's interested in our public folder. So, and then make sure it gets on the announcements with Troopy.
Yeah, and I believe that you can also find that on the Unlocking Housing Choices
Yep.
webpage as well.
Yep.
And then finally, just as a reminder to people, the Vibrant Denver Bond that passed council, it was referred to the ballot, and that will be on the November 4th ballot, which you should be receiving in the mail this month. Otherwise, because it is near SUNY, and we have the Regis University rezonings that will be at planning board on October 15th. So they are rezoning their current campus out of old code zoning and into current zoning. And then where the strip mall, McDonald's, the fields, right, all of that area, they're moving into a PUD. But even though they're two separate zonings, they're going to be moving in tandem. And so both of those will be at planning board on October 15th. And that's all I have.
I actually have a project that is underneath the old Chapter 59. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I haven't worked in 25 years in a project. And it's like, oh my God, I had to dig through that, and I had to get on there and have like an advisory meeting with them. Like, so it was just bizarre. I was like, oh my God, here's one of these weird lots that's still underneath Chapter 59. So anyway, they're out there. So thank you, Melissa. I really appreciate it. If you could, when you have time, send that on over and I will drop it in our public folder so people can go click on those links and everything in the PDF.
Yeah, I'll send that tonight.
And it'll be up there by tomorrow for everybody. So you can go take those surveys. So let's see, next on the agenda, well, we've already kind of gone over it. There's not much on the unlocking housing choices. So I will keep you guys abreast of things as I get more information. They really haven't sent anything out since the beginning of last month. So we'll see how that progresses. One of the topics we've been talking about over the last 3 or 4 months was something that Matthew had started discussing, and it had to do with safe streets and some potential demonstration projects. And we've had discussions about how there's no budget or money for any of this type of stuff at this point, but that there still is a lot of interest in the neighborhood in continuing to try or to get our streets to be safer for bicyclists and multimodal forms of traffic. We've had lots of conversations about the vehicle bicycle accidents and so forth. So I don't know, Matthew, if you'd like to say a few words, if you've worked on anything or had other further discussions that would be of interest to everybody.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of updates specifically on that topic. My efforts have been focused on getting a bike bus running for my younger kids' school, which kicks off next week, which I can cover now or cover in our announcements time. But
it's kind of tied in here. So if you want to bring it up, and I'll go ahead and drop it in here in the announcements and put all the data and any links or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know we don't have a ton of people from Sunnyside going over to Edison, but we do have a handful of us. And so kind of crossing Federal and crossing 38th, they're kind of dangerous places for us to get through. So we're running our first, our inaugural ride of the Edison bike bus will be next Wednesday. It's October 8th. It's National Walk and Roll to School Day. As a bike bus, it's open to the whole community. So anyone who wants to come ride with us is more than welcome to do it, whether you've got a kid at Skinner or at Edison or not. We also will be passing Skinner on the way. So any kids that are coming to Skinner are welcome to join us. We go near Rocky Mountain Prep Berkeley. So anyone from there is welcome to join us as well. But the Sunnyside route, we're going to be starting by the Columbian Elementary parking lot, which is kind of 40th and Elliott. So we'll kind of meet there at 7:40 in the morning, and then we'll come up to 41st and across Federal, across Irving, across Lowell, get to Perry, and there's a couple other groups that are potentially going to meet us at Perry there as we head south into the school. So like I said, it's open to anyone. If anyone wants to come ride with the bus, if you want to come cheer on kids who are riding in the bus, if you want to help cork intersections to block traffic as we pass through them, anyone is welcome to join. But there's a website at www.edisonbikebus.org that has some more details about that if anyone's interested in joining. And then the other somewhat related topic, there was an effort that's been started by a couple of members of the Denver Bike Lobby, Alan Cowgill and June Churchill. They're working on putting together a white paper around school streets. The kind of a concept of a school street is that you shut down the streets around a school so kids can safely get in and out of the school, specifically at arrival and departure time. But there's really not a good way for schools in Denver to do this. Brown Elementary did one last spring. It cost them over $1,000 in permits. They had to have, I think, 20 or 40 different signs put up to kind of control traffic on a couple side streets. So kind of the purpose of this white paper is to examine how other cities are addressing this concern, how we can make it easier for Denver to permit these types of situations so that kids can get in and out of their schools more safely. So there's a GoFundMe. I can certainly share that link if that's appropriate, but just wanted to kind of call out that initiative that's that they're undergoing to go through that research of kind of similar cities and provide some guidance on that in the form of white paper back to Dottie. So just wanted to bring up that initiative is underway and seems like it could be certainly a good thing to impact streets around schools, but I'm optimistic that it might also provide some insight into just general permitting around safe streets projects. So it might align with some of the things that we've been talking around these demo projects in Sunnyside.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could drop. I've already got some of the stuff you talked about kind of typed in there, but if you could drop any of the links or anything that you'd like, I'll go ahead and get those posted in the notes as well, and that way people can access them if they want to help. On the bike bus for Edison, is there on that thing direction of who you would connect with if you want? Are you looking for volunteers, actively look to like control some of those intersections, and then you'd be delegated out to a different intersection if you wanted to be a volunteer?
Hopefully we get to that point where we have enough people who are willing to do things like that. Right now, it's literally our first ride is on Wednesday, so it's like I'm hoping some people show up and join with us.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll kind of see how it all plays out. But yeah, I put the link to the website. There's a page about volunteering in there. If anyone actually wants to reach out, it's got an email address that you can reach out to. And if you don't want to formally volunteer, but still want to join a ride on Wednesday morning, you're certainly welcome to do that too.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Yeah, no, that's all good stuff. Unfortunately, things can't move forward as fast or as strong as we'd like, but any progress moving forward is certainly appreciated, and yeah, I think is a good thing. So thanks for the updates. Let's see, next on there, and I don't know if Matt is here or not. We had started talking about some safe street issues, and these were more to do with like dangers and impediments that were along sidewalks or in the right of way that were kind of questionable about whether who they were, if they were Excel's owned or if they were like private, those sort of things. We can pick that topic back up later. I don't think anything's moving forward too much on that. Basically, the gist of it and the conversations that we've had are, if you do see street hazards that are there that are active hazards, report it to 311. Basically, that's the best way to get that to the city and start the conversation at least. And the more people that report it, if one or two people report it, probably get moved up the ladder as a higher priority type thing.
Rod, just to clarify, so are you talking about like the old electrical boxes that are like knocked down to the ground and stuff from the old?
Yeah, there was some like that. There were some of the old light posts that were sheared off at the base where there were literally still like bolts sticking up out of the ground like 2 inches. They were a tripping
Like on
hazard.
Fairlawn and stuff?
Yeah, well, some of the tree wells where the trees have been removed, where the grading's still there, but there's literally a hole you can step in because it's dirt in the middle of a little circle, those type of issues. And then also talking about like narrow sidewalks or just places we'd like to identify in Sunnyside that impede us from having a walkable, safe, public right of way, area. So, and it doesn't seem like for any of the situations there's any one stop shop, one quick fix. Each thing's going to have to kind of be taken care of individually. I think what they were looking for is a way to sort of, can we comprehensively take care of all this? No, it's just going to be one little issue at a time, and we're just going to have to sort of be diligent about it and get as many people out there and aware and try to document and report them as best we can. So that's the best way to do it.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. All right. So, and then Becca, you said that you're going to push off that conversation with Dennis until next time. Any preview on what it's about, or are you trying to keep it a secret?
No secret. Basically, sorry, I forgot how the mute button worked for a second there. I'm flustered. Just caught like a little next door convo and just figured I would kind of take it offline. And it's 3819 Lipan. Just a lot of, it's a vacant industrial building, which I hadn't actually laid eyes on that specific property. I actually drove by it today. So it was essentially a resident nearby. There's a lot of, homeless apparently in the building.
Oh,
And I don't know, it's hard to really catch what's going on without, I mean, obviously having boots on the ground and really seeing it, which I don't, but apparently if there's not a trespassing agreement in place from the owner, they can't remove people from the building. But Dennis said that there haven't been people in the building, so I don't know. I was hoping
oh,
he could just clarify, but I guess I was curious why it's vacant. When I drove by it, it seems like a very usable, functional, leasable property. So I'm just curious kind of what
Oh.
he's doing with it. Um,
well,
so-
and this might be an interesting thing to loop in Pete Tavani on as well, because he's got
Mhm.
that property up there where Standard Fence is up at the end of Jason. And
Yeah.
and he deals, I was just over there a couple weeks ago, and he had just gotten done dealing with like 5 or 6 people that have like moved in on his property, which is a fenced in
Mhm.
property, but they cut through the fence, and then before too long there's like 5 or 6 people up there. And
Yeah. I was
and
just
so it's an issue he's constantly struggling with up there.
yeah, definitely. This one, it was just, it's interesting. It has 38th frontage visibility. So it's curious to me because I don't know why he's not listing it. He's not trying to get tenants in there. So I was just curious kind of why
Yeah.
he's not trying to get tenants in there. I know he's probably holding it.
Well,
For
is it an issue that's becoming a issue with the neighbors and stuff like that? Are there incidents happening?
It
Because-
seems as such, but to
Okay.
me, it's like it's kind of I don't know where the problem is arising. Is it if it's that it's a vacant building and that's why it's made the problem so much worse, or
Right. Well,
yeah, it's
yeah,
just I was curious to get the owner's perspective on that because
well, with
just
like Pete's,
having worked.
I've talked to Pete, like he said, like a couple, 2 people, it starts out, it's fine for a while, but then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, larger groups starts to get, accumulate, and then things start disappearing and stuff starts to get vandalized.
Yeah.
It goes along and it's just like he's kind of happy to let it go kind of quiet for a while, but then he says it just explodes and all of a sudden
Mhm.
starts getting, and then they start lighting fires and things like that.
Yeah,
And
no,
it
definitely. Like
definitely
it's
becomes
not for the faint of
so
heart for sure.
it's
It
a
just
tough issue because
when I laid eyes on it, it actually wasn't visibly in as rough of shape as I was expecting it to be. So I guess I was yeah, I was
yeah,
just curious kind of
okay,
what his I suppose plan was for it.
okay.
It's a house.
Uh,
It's an industrial building. It looks
Oh.
like a multi-tenant building. It's like 7,300 square feet. Looks like it's split into 2 units, but um he owns that building and then the adjacent land. I think it's like a 0.43 acre site, give or take. But the building itself you can see from 38th. And it's also has a decent size lot itself. So it just feels like it's a fairly usable, functional building that I don't know why it's sitting vacant.
Okay.
What's the
I haven't
address?
seen the inside of
What is
it
it?
also.
38,
Was
38?
3819 Lipan.
Was
That's
it
not
where
an
Or,
address.
for Inca, sorry, 3819 Inca, not Lipan.
Okay.
Oh,
Inca,
Inca,
that's-
because I was
I
like,
was like, yeah, that's not a thing.
I'm like, that's Chubby's. I was
Sorry.
like,
Like, what in the world?
3819 Inca. It's been a long day.
Okay.
yeah. Oh, okay. So it's back up around. I see. It's that dead end street back
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, like it's not, I mean, it just seems like having tenants in there at least would be better than having it be vacant. I don't know.
And it's
I guess
not
I'm
coming
just,
down. It's not coming down when they're doing that bridge over from Globeville over.
I don't
No,
know.
this is no. This is at 38.
Oh, up
Not,
top. I see.
Yeah,
what you're
no,
saying.
this is, yeah, so
yeah, because
it's
it's
like,
that one that's like you can see 38 there
Yeah.
over the edge.
Okay, I
So
understand where it is.
he
Yeah,
wants
further
to redevelop that property.
Yeah.
That's why
Okay.
he's not running it.
And we dealt with this property years ago, Melissa. It was something because
2024, I looked it up.
well, because see, this comes back around and doesn't make it to the street. And so it was a big issue with the fire trucks and access because it's a dead end road and he had no place to put a 60-foot turnaround cul-de-sac they wanted. And yeah, this was a challenging, like, I think the way we were going as an advisory or as the land use committee was to try to get the street vacated all the way up to the end of the block because it didn't
Yeah.
really need a street all the way there. Then you could kind of circumvent the fire department's requirements, but it's dicey.
It's it's a weird building for sure. I get it's challenging, and obviously as an industrial use, it doesn't. But I think it's on what IMX3.
I thought
So I
somebody
guess
had plans. I thought somebody already sent plans in to develop that lot like years ago.
Yeah,
Huh.
so they wanted 30 something odd townhomes on it.
Yeah, it was huge.
So, but so that's the problem is they don't want industrial zoning. They wanted to rezone it
Right.
to URX5. And there wasn't plan support for that.
Yeah, I thought it was all supported and everything because it's all sort of, encouraged right along there. But I think they did run into some issues with the fire department and trying to get turnaround access and stuff like that. So, but
Is he okay. Okay, interesting.
yeah, it had to do with the fact that the street's longer than a certain distance, and once you can't have like a dead end street for fire access, and so they were trying to figure out, there's a lot of entities involved in how you get a street vacated so that no longer becomes vehicular access there. Because if I remember correctly, the property itself could get access off the alley in the back for parking and stuff and didn't need this street out front. I don't know but it is a problem and an issue if there's people in there because eventually those buildings catch on fire when that happens. So.
It's an interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, bring it back up next time if you got more news about it next week or next month.
Yeah, cool.
So, and I don't. The next little thing here might be something for you, Becca. Do you know more about the tentative thing for the 26th?
That Joey, I think, can probably speak.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Joey.
Well, I hope so. Are we talking about like the pet parade and everything?
Yeah, the pet parade and everything. I had it on here as an announcement. I didn't know much information about it, so.
Sorry to throw you into that, but
No, you're good. So it should be on the 26th. It's going to be over at Chaffee Park. So we are going to do like a little small loop through Chaffee Park and parade the pets around. And then we're going to end up over at Monkey Barrel. Before that happens, I got really excited about the pet parade. Before that happens, Simon over at Cherry Bean, we're going to be doing a pumpkin painting situation. And so the first things first is the pumpkin painting at Cherry Bean, and then we will do and then we will judge those pets. I think there's going to be 3 categories: cutest, scariest, fuzziest, whatever the thing is that we do. And then we give out prizes. And then hang out over at Monkey Barrel.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And what time does that start?
Thought it started at 10, but I don't know that I've got. Let me just give me 38 seconds since I just got.
Yeah, sorry to throw you under the bus. And that's the pumpkin painting part that starts at 10, and then the parade will tentatively start
At like 11, and I thought we were done by noon. It's usually just like a couple of hours, but let me just double check so I'm not lying to you. Okay, the event is actually October 25th, so I lied to you already.
Oh, 5th. I had it down as the 26th as well.
I know, that's all right. This is why we measure twice and cut once, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be the festival, or the time is going to be from 10 to 1:30. So we start with pumpkin painting. And I don't have a time of when we transition to the other, but that's what we'll be doing.
Okay.
Yes, that's the most up to date that I've got. The 25th, 10 to 1:30. Yep. And then I think 11 to, yeah, around that time. We
Okay.
are be looking for volunteers, and I think we're tapping our block captains just to help with traffic control and just stop sign enforcement over at that intersection, so we can cross everybody all at once back and forth.
Well, I'll bring my dogs to do traffic control with me.
And I thought you were just going to dress up for us in the Yeti and just go out there and stop traffic.
No, yeah, no. Well, I would not be good. Like I'd be dead within half an hour.
Oh my God, yeah, the dogs. Wow.
But-
You running through Chaffee, but that's what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, and dogs do not do well with Wilder.
Oh,
That
it was so
Wilder
great.
costume, man. Like there's no dog that as soon as the dog notices it, they all freak out.
So great. But
Yeah.
yes, gift cards and prizes and stuff like that. I don't know how far she is. I know she was looking for judges, more to come kind of on that. But if you guys are interested, just reach out to me or Becca, and Hannah is running that.
Okay, perfect. I'll just put down here to reach out to you for.
And I can link you with Hannah, or I can just give you Hannah's phone number. It's up to you guys.
Perfect. And Melissa, I'm sorry, you had your hand raised a while ago. I can't remember what it was, and I kept looking up.
No, I was just going to ask her to clarify where in the world that building was because I couldn't find 3819 LaFan.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
Well, well, Google Maps took me right to the Chubby's parking lot, and I was like, well, that's not abandoned.
No, no, no. I was mistaken.
So cool. Well, that's all we really had on our agenda. Is there anything else anybody'd like to bring up? I just had one quick shout out and hello to Austin. I met Austin at the food bank.
Yeah,
food
the
bank
food
thing
bank
the other night.
celebration. Yeah, my wife volunteers at the food bank as well. So
Yeah,
that's where
so,
I met
and my wife's
Rob
on the
and-
board. So Austin, would you just introduce yourself there
Yeah.
in the neighborhood here? And
Yeah.
I believe Austin's a civil engineer. So
Yeah, no, my name's Austin Dahlem. I've been in Sunnyside for 3 years, but in Lowhigh for 6 years before that. So right, very in the area. So yeah, no, we love this neighborhood. We live on Tejon and 41st. So like right in the middle. But yeah, I'm really excited about the pep parade too, because we saw it we attended it last year as well. And it's really cool, like hearing all, I see all these things all the time, but it's just cool seeing what all the planning that happens. But my background is I'm a civil engineer. I have my license in Colorado and like 12 years of experience, but I'm mainly in like, I do like dam construction and stuff like that, but I do have a background in transportation engineering, and I have a master's in transportation design and safe streets and all of these designs. So I'm interested in like helping out with the white paper. I was hearing that I've been talking to the Denver the bike lobby as well about that. And then the other thing too, Rod, I was interested about you're talking about going around the neighborhood and documenting certain like items that need to be fixed. Is that like is that like
I get you.
yeah, but I'm interested. Is that like does Denver have like an app or something that you?
No, and to be clear, we
Yeah.
know where there's narrow sidewalks.
Okay.
So in case you guys think that that's helpful, we know where they are.
Yeah.
We just have
Yeah.
no money to fix them.
Yeah.
But I mean, so the goal is eventually over time, and I do mean lots of time, that
What
the
about
city will
no
be
sidewalks?
doing that. So those will be prioritized first, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But again, the city has a formula, and they've worked on this before
Yeah.
on who's being prioritized, what neighborhoods, and they don't want to be hopscotching all over the city, so they'll be moving in different areas at different times. And then it'll be prioritized based on the type of road it is, the type of people it serves, things like that for the funding, which will take easily a decade.
And Austin, that was sort of started by that Matt Levesque, and he had done his,
Okay.
I think his own initiative, went out there, took a bunch of pictures and photos of all these like hazards that he was just documenting. I mean, it was more than just around the neighborhood. He was even down by Coors Field and all through
Yeah.
downtown. I mean, he did a lot of work and bringing it up, and it did include like places that didn't have some sidewalks and stuff that with the narrow sidewalks, but primarily it was like for addressing these things with like active hazards, well, like
Mhm.
live electrical wires like sticking up out of the sidewalk,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like things that could really actually hurt somebody. So he was, and so there were like the stuff that Melissa was talking about that the city already knows about. It's on their dockets and we'll get to it when they get money. But then there's those, I think, a separate bucket of things that's like active hazards that are tripping hazards or
Mm,
impediments for people, like where a kid could get shocked
yeah.
by like an electrical wire, something like that. So there's those two different levels of things, and basically it's like just report if there's something that's a physical hazard
Okay.
that's immediate and of concern. So,
Yeah.
but I can connect you if you're interested in helping with
Yeah,
that.
no,
I
just like
will,
I mean, right
Matthew,
out here.
I've got Austin's contact info, so
Yeah.
I'll connect the two of you via email.
Okay.
Yeah, Matthew, if Austin wants to sort of talk to you more about that white paper.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad to be
Yeah,
here.
well,
So,
welcome. It's
thank-
great. And when I met Austin last week, he just expressed the interest and was excited to sort of get a little bit more involved with the neighborhood. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I invited him to come tonight and see what this is about, and hopefully we can suck him in and get him to do more stuff.
Well, I've been trying to. We've been in Denver for over 10 years now. We're originally from Kentucky, but just trying to figure out how to, just be more helpful on a community
Yeah,
level.
you're
So
getting to that age
yeah,
where
yeah,
you're like, yeah, I want to start giving back.
yeah.
There's something that I can add to, there's like different parts of this, and Rod, I have not been to land use in a minute, so if this is like not the time or place, just tell me. But for the Sunnyside RNO, we do have block captains, and this is, a volunteer type situation, and this may be, I don't know what's going to happen sooner, the sidewalks versus kind of what our focus is on for block captains, but what we're trying to do with our block captain population is really focusing on the safety of corners, the safety on stop signs and things like that. And so that might be something else that if you want to get involved with as well, I think that that may be separate than the sidewalk situation.
Yeah.
But it's just making sure that there's no trees. Like this is kind of a lower lift, but like no trees are blocking the side or the stop sign because people keep blasting through, or that we are parking our cars too close to the corner because there's not a setback that's up to code for a no parking, those kinds of things. So if you do want to get signed up with that, I would email Troopty. We do quarter meetings. We'll meet in person at Birch or on Zoom. But the idea behind it is that if we can kind of like, as we're walking our dogs and stuff, and we all focus on 3 to 5 things, that we could try to push for some immediate support on that as well. So again, I'm not trying to take away from the sidewalk. This could be running parallel with that. But another way that as you're out and you're wanting to help and you've got, your family out there, you see something, you just take a picture of it and you can upload it to 311. There is no app or anything like super easy. They don't have plans for an app that I'm aware of every time I talk to them. And so it really is just logging into it on Safari or Google or what have you, and uploading it as you're there, taking a picture. And that is something that is a little bit, from my understanding, trackable. And we really want to show how we are prioritizing 311 with Dottie and how Sunnyside is kind of working alongside our city partners to make it safer for everyone else. But Troopty would be your person for that if that gets you going.
Yeah, and that block, and this is Joey, this is the completely appropriate place to mention the block captain stuff because there's so much crossover with all of these things, and the block captain program that we're trying to sort of get up and going more is getting a good group of people that are all throughout the neighborhood that can be connected, that can then disseminate information to their immediate neighbors on their block, and it's sort of as a two-way communication hub so that we can, because Sunnyside is a pretty big neighborhood that has a lot of diversity from one side to the other and a lot of different issues that the different areas face. And so I think some of the intent behind Joey, you might be able to speak to this a little more, behind the block captain thing was also to be able to form these communication links you know, even to disseminate information from this group, you know, so that the block captains could reach out to their immediate neighbors, and just a better way to sort of get the whole neighborhood connected with one another. Because so many people miss a lot of the announcements, you know, that go into the news flyer, or they don't see it on Facebook or Nextdoor or whatever. And they might, you know, talk to their neighbor and have them bring it up. So I think that's it's all good if we can all tie these things together.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yep.
So, well, we're really early tonight because we really didn't have any big ticket items to discuss, but I'm really happy to see everybody on here, and Melissa, thanks again for showing up every month and bringing your news to our neck of the woods. And then I will post as soon as I get it from Melissa the PDF up there, and I will get all the notes from the chat and drop that into the agenda here. So if anybody wants to go back to the agenda, they can get to all those links and take those surveys and those sort of things.
Cool.
So that's all I have for this evening. And also Austin and Matthew, I'll get you guys connected on an email as well.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much.
so thanks again for coming, everybody. And you know, shoot Joey a message if you have anything else that you need before next month.
Yeah. Go to the Sunnyside website and email. It'll go to info@Sunnyside, so you can just shoot it there too if you want.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.